Okay, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order the May 19th, 2020 regular monthly board meeting. We're going to start this evening with the Pledge of Allegiance. Just for logistics, because of our individual technology setups, we're all going to stay seated. Do you have the flag, Vito?
You got it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic
for which it stands, one
under
nation, under God,
civil,
indivisible,
liberty and justice for all.
Justice for all.
All right, thanks everybody. Okay, I'm gonna begin with the approvals of items 4, 5, and 6. So be it resolved. Oh wait, superintendent's report. I skipped right over it. I'm sorry, Dr. Glass.
That's okay.
Trying to blast through it. Dr. Glass,
all right.
Superintendent's report.
Thank you very much, and happy birthday, Madam President. It's good to
Thank you.
Good to be here this evening. I want to just let everybody know that we are very thankful to everybody who continues to work through our distance learning. Appreciate everybody's efforts in that regard. That goes for students, families, and our staff all working so hard. Thank you for that. And I want to thank Scott Wynn and all of his team who've really helped, and our principals who have helped shepherd that along. They've done outstanding work. I want to let everybody know that we are engaged in reentry planning in a very ambitious way. I know families are anxious about what's going to happen in the fall. It's impossible to give you answers quickly, but know that we're working on them, and we'll have more information to families either by video or in print very shortly, at least as to how the process is working. It's going to take us some time, and I really ask for everybody's patience. There are a lot of variables involved, and we are coordinating with other school districts on this as well. I will leave it at that and then just jump now. Other things, the most important item in the report tonight, my report tonight, is an overview of the budget. And so Assistant Superintendent for Business, Lisa Sanfilippo, is going to present to you a slideshow that will take you through it. This is much like similar to the presentation you had last week, but this is an important item, and we want to make sure that everybody who needs to see it has a chance to see it. So once Lisa gets that up, we'll go through that, and that will give overview information to everyone.
Okay, can you all see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Get it to move. There we go. Okay, so this slide from last week as well is the property tax cap calculation. Nothing in this slide has changed over the past few weeks, so I won't spend a lot of time on it. It's there for everyone to review. But our approved tax cap is, or hopefully to be approved tax cap is 1.78% tax levy increase over last year. Next slide. This also hasn't changed at all since last week, is the estimated tax rate impact. If we take the tax levy increase of the 1.78% and apply it to an average homeowner with an assessed value of $8,900, the projected annual increase of the tax levy increase is $241 per year. And you could see the impact for various assessed values from 5,000 up to 13,000. So again, that's not including any star exemptions, and it assumes no change in the total assessed value of the district. So the next slide is where you'll see some, I gotta move the picture here. So this slide, the numbers haven't changed. I removed some of the highlights because this is what we're going on. So our revenue, budgeted revenue for 2021 will be $88,835,000. That's a $1.2 million increase over last year. And we'll go through some revenue items in more detail on the next slide. County sales tax, that number hasn't changed since the last presentation. It's been reduced by $300,000 from what we originally were projecting for this year. The first quarter of 2020 has remained unchanged. Interest and earnings, again, that number hasn't changed since last week. We took it down about $200,000. We anticipate interest to remain close to zero for the time being, but hopefully that will rebound at some point during the fiscal year. We were eagerly awaiting state aid revisions on May 15th, and it did not come. So May 15th came, and revisions did not. So what is currently in the budget is what was adopted by the state on April 1st. The governor did not revise any of his aid projections, as was widely expected. However, it will likely be reduced based on state revenues and federal aid going forward. So while we are keeping it at that number, we do anticipate that we may get some revenue shortfalls next year. And in that instance, we will be going to our unreserved fund balance to close that gap. So the updated state aid slide shows the 515 numbers as unchanged from what was enacted as of 4/1. So I just wanted to, for the visualization, just to show that, that number hasn't, none of those numbers have changed at all, and including our 1920 projections. We were also anticipating a potential reduction there. And again, no changes to 1920 were enacted either. So with that being said, we now know what our expenditures are going to be. It's going to be obviously the same number as our revenues, $88,835,000. And just to break down the increases or the changes, administration is a 1.3% change. Facilities, operations, and security is a 13.1% change. Instruction is a 0.9% change. Transportation, 0.5. Employee benefits, 0.6. Service, some debt is retiring, so that's a minus 2.5%. Overall, it's a budget to budget increase of 1.4%. So some items included in the budget, as we spoke last week, a 0.2 increase of special education at the high school. That's approximately a $17,000 increase. Some security enhancements of approximately $65,000. And then, in light of the fact that the state revenues weren't reduced, and the fact that we did get a reduction on our Swiss chip rates, and we did get some more retirements due to the incentive, we felt it was prudent to build some money into the budget for reopening for next year. We really don't know at this point what the requirements are going to be from the state. We could have, transportation impact. We could have facilities impacts. We could have technology impacts. We're just not sure. So we thought at this point it was prudent to put some sort of placeholder in the budget. It will come out of fund balance if necessary. If we need it, it's there. If we don't need it, we don't necessarily need to use it. But in light of trying to get reopened for September, we're concerned that there are a lot of unexpected expenses that may be hitting us between now and then. Capital projects, that number hasn't changed. That's a $1.5 million transfer to capital, partial roof replacement at the high school, middle school, and should any funds remain, other projects as identified in the 5-year capital plan.
Can I ask a question, Lisa?
Yes.
3 slides ago, that number was $1.7 million.
What number?
I think, yeah, right there.
Transfer to other funds, yeah. That's the transfer to capital, plus it's a $200,000 transfer to the special aid fund. So it's 2 funds.
Okay, sorry.
No problem. So the last slide, the budget vote and trustee election by executive order will be on June 9th, 2020. It's 100% absentee ballot only, no in-person polling locations. Ballots must be received by 5 p.m. on June 9th to be counted. You will shortly be receiving your absentee ballot by mail. Everyone will be getting one, and it must be returned by mail, or we are going to set up a drop box in front of the district office if people feel more comfortable hand delivering it to the district office. And I think that's it. That's it.
Lisa, is there any restriction on how to count the absentee ballots, when you can start counting them, things like that? Any rules? I mean, if you send the ballots out next week and people return them the following week, can you start counting them?
We have been advised to not start counting until 5 o'clock on the 9th.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, that was my only question.
That's it? Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Any board committee reports?
I have none. Finance has
Yeah,
none.
other than to announce that the Labor Committee met shortly before this meeting. Obviously not something I'm going to report out on.
Okay, great. I'm going to move items 4, 5, and 6. So be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves the minutes of the May 12th, 2020 regular meeting as attached. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the personnel agenda as attached. And be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves the placements as recommended by the Committee on Preschool Special Education and the Committee on Special Education as attached. Can I have a second?
Second.
What was that?
Judith, Rob, Tara seconded.
Tara?
Multiple people.
Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any opposed? Passed unanimously. Okay, moving on to number 7, the business office recommendations. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby adopts a proposed 2020-2021 budget in the amount of $88,835,000. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education shall present the following to the voters of the Eastchester Union Free School District on Tuesday, June 9th, 2020. Proposition 1, shall the Eastchester Union Free School District of the Town of Eastchester, Westchester County, New York, adopt a budget for the school year 2020-2021 for the schools comprising said Eastchester Union Free School District in the gross sum of $88,835,000 and raise the necessary taxes required for said budget in one sum by tax upon the taxable property of the district. Be it resolved that the Board of Education has reviewed and hereby approves the attached 2020-2021 school property tax report card for the Eastchester Union Free School District and authorizes the Assistant Superintendent to submit the same in accordance with the law. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve the Treasurer's Report for April 2020 as attached. And be it resolved that the Board of Education approve budget transfers of $10,000 or more for the month of May 2020 as attached. Dave, can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Those motions passed unanimously. Okay, future meeting dates. We have a special meeting on Wednesday. It's Wednesday, not Tuesday, Wednesday, May 27th at 8 p.m. For a public budget hearing. And our June meetings are Tuesday, June 9th and Tuesday, June 23rd at 8 p.m. Any comments from the board?
Carol, I have a question.
Yes, Vito?
I know we approved the minutes of our last meeting, but in looking at them, nowhere in the minutes does it reference that the meeting was held virtually. It said present and it had our names, but I think we should add to our minutes a statement that says that the meeting was held virtually on all of our minutes. And I would make a motion that we go back and revise any minutes that don't say that and include that going forward.
Okay.
Just a comment.
Yeah.
I'll make those changes.
Okay?
Thank you. Thanks, Vito.
All right.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
I just had a quick comment.
Tara?
I have to say, in particular, the Google Meet this week with Coach Oki, Coach Caridi, and Mr. Power was just a lot of fun. It was amazing to see all the second graders really, really engaged in doing speaking, but also doing actual physical fitness activities. And it was a really, really good class. And I'm excited to see what the future holds with all of the Google Meets.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? I just wanted to make another shout out to the Eastchester Teacher Association. Last week I said they adopted 3 Eastchester High School seniors. They've actually, I think, as of last I heard, adopted 10. And that's not counting the many teachers and staff in the district who are adopting seniors. So thank you to teachers, to the ETA, to staff for supporting our seniors this year. It's really nice to see. And I also wanted to give a shout out to our Director of Technology, Bill Blum, who's really gets these meetings up and running and keeps us all in line and helps us start as close to on time as we can, despite our individual technological challenges. So thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
I think that's it. Can I get a motion to go into exec for the purposes of discussing an exempt subject involving legal advice from the school's district attorney under attorney-client privilege?
Yes.
Thank you, Vito. Seconded. Sally, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed unanimously. Thanks for everyone for a great meeting.
Thank you. Be safe,
See you
everyone.
on May 27th for the public budget hearing.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.